The demonic Bellaire House. Sometimes the most terrifying things are the ones that go unseen. In the quiet town of Bellaire, Ohio, nestled among the rolling hills and small-town charm, there stands a house that has captivated the imagination of anyone brave enough to hear its story. Known as the demonic Bellaire House, this residence is far from ordinary. For decades, its walls have witnessed inexplicable events, terrifying encounters, and rumors of an evil presence that has been described as nothing short of demonic. What makes this house truly unsettling isn't just the tales of the paranormal. It's the undeniable presence that continues to haunt the property, defying logical explanations. From shadowy figures that flicker in the corner of your eye, to chilling noises that seem to come from nowhere. The Bellaire House has left a trail of terror and questions in its wake. But who or what is behind these occurrences? Is it simply a house with a dark history? Or is there something far more sinister at play? As we delve deeper into the story of the demonic Bellaire House, we'll uncover the events, the witnesses, and the chilling evidence that has kept the mystery alive for years. A place where fear and curiosity intertwine, the house continues to provoke both horror and fascination, making us wonder, is the demonic Bellaire House simply the product of local legend? Or is there something far darker lurking within its walls? Join us as we investigate this haunting and attempt to uncover the truth behind one of Ohio's most infamous mysteries. Background story: the demonic Bellaire House. The story of the demonic Bellaire House begins in the heart of Bellaire, Ohio, a small, historic town located along the Ohio River in Belmont County. Known for its rich industrial past and proximity to the river, Bellaire is a place where old brick buildings line the streets, giving the town a sense of nostalgia and a connection to the past. But beneath its quaint exterior lies a dark, unsettling history that has become synonymous with one particular house. An abandoned structure that has become infamous for its paranormal activity. The Bellaire House, a once charming Victorian-style residence, was built in the late 19th century, during a time when Bellaire was a thriving industrial hub. The original owners were a prominent local family whose wealth and influence helped establish their name in the community. However, it wasn't long before tragedy struck the family, and the house would begin to take on a darker reputation. The origins of the paranormal activity within the Bellaire House are somewhat shrouded in mystery, with various accounts and local legends suggesting a slow buildup of eerie occurrences that would only worsen over time. In the early 1900s, a series of untimely deaths befell the family living in the home. The first major tragedy occurred when the patriarch of the family, a well-respected businessman, was killed in a freak accident at the local steel mill. Shortly after his death, the family began experiencing inexplicable occurrences, strange noises in the walls, objects being moved without explanation, and unsettling shadows seen darting across the rooms. These occurrences would become more frequent, as if the house itself were slowly being consumed by something malevolent. But the real turning point came when the house passed into the hands of new owners. Over the years, several families would live in the house, each with their own terrifying stories to tell. One of the most unsettling events involved the family who moved in during the 1950s. They reported hearing heavy footsteps in the attic late at night, even when no one was there. Family members described a sensation of being watched, especially in the attic and basement areas, and often felt an oppressive, cold presence that seemed to settle in the corners of the house. As the years went on, the house continued to change hands, but no one seemed able to live there for long. It became increasingly notorious for its dark energy, with rumors swirling about the house's connection to something more sinister. According to local accounts, one family who moved in during the 1970s experienced the most terrifying incidents to date. They claimed to have seen shadowy figures lurking in the corners of their vision and heard disembodied whispers calling their names in the dead of night. The family also reported strange physical sensations, such as cold drafts that seemed to come from nowhere, and a sudden drop in temperature in certain rooms, even on the hottest of days. One of the most chilling accounts came from a young girl who lived in the house during the 1980s. She spoke of seeing dark figures in her room, figures that seemed to be watching her sleep. As the girl grew older, she reported feeling an overwhelming sense of dread when she was alone in the house, as if something was always waiting for her. Her family members were said to have witnessed doors slamming shut by themselves and windows rattling violently without any cause. In the 1990s, the house was abandoned, and its once grand structure began to deteriorate. It became a source of curiosity for many locals and outsiders alike, with some venturing into the decaying building to investigate the rumors of its haunted nature. In the years following, the house's reputation as a haunted location grew, fueled by the stories of those who claimed to have witnessed paranormal activity. The house, now in a state of disrepair, became a fixture in the minds of people who were drawn to the mystery of what was happening behind its deteriorating walls. The first official paranormal investigation occurred in the early 2000s, when a group of local ghost hunters decided to explore the house. Armed with equipment to detect electrical anomalies and record strange noises, the investigators set out to capture evidence of what had been described as a demonic presence. What they discovered would only add fuel to the fire speculation surrounding the house's sinister reputation. During their investigation, the team reported an overwhelming sense of unease. They heard disembodied voices, caught on tape whispering in a language they could not identify, and witnessed objects shifting slightly when no one was nearby. One investigator noted feeling a cold, oppressive weight pressing down on him, and when he turned to leave the room, he claimed to have seen a shadowy figure standing in the corner, watching him. Although they left without a definitive explanation, the investigators' findings further cemented the idea that the Bellaire House was not just haunted, but perhaps possessed by something far darker. The house's reputation continued to grow, with some locals referring to it as the Demon House, due to the extreme nature of the paranormal activity reported. Rumors began to spread about the house being built on cursed land, or that it was the site of some dark ritual. However, despite these theories, the true origin of the house's malevolent force remained unclear. The more the house was discussed, the more intense the tales became. Residents began to speak of a palpable feeling of dread that permeated the property, and some who dared to approach the house claimed to have been followed or watched by unseen eyes. This led to even more investigations, each claiming to uncover more supernatural evidence. But the one thing that was consistently absent was a clear explanation. No one could definitively explain the strange happenings or identify the source of the dark energy that seemed to permeate the house. In recent years, the Bellaire House has become an increasingly popular location for paranormal investigators, drawn by the house's chilling reputation. It is not only the site of local investigations, but also a place featured on various ghost hunting television shows, adding to its notoriety. The house has been the subject of countless documentaries and online investigations, with numerous theories about the origins of the evil force that haunts it. Some suggest that the house is cursed by the deaths of its former owners and the tragic events that befell them, while others believe that there is something more sinister at play. Whether it's a malevolent spirit, demonic possession, or simply a house that has become the embodiment of fear itself, the Bellaire House continues to attract attention for the terrifying history it carries within its walls. This complex web of tragic events, unexplained phenomena, and unanswered questions about the nature of the house's haunting has ensured that the demonic Bellaire House remains a subject of fascination and fear. But no matter how many times it is investigated, the answers remain elusive. The mystery of the Bellaire House continues to captivate the curious, the skeptics, and the believers alike, keeping its dark secrets tightly locked within its crumbling walls. The Incident. The Bellaire House, one of America's most infamous haunted locations, saw its rise to notoriety in the mid-20th century. Although whispers of its eerie past existed, paranormal events escalated significantly in the 1950s when the Garrett family moved in, catalyzing its transformation into a hotbed of supernatural activity. The Garrett family, a new beginning. In the 1950s, William and Patricia Garrett, along with their 3 children, sought a fresh start and purchased the Bellaire House at a bargain. The spacious Victorian-style home initially appeared perfect. However, soon after settling in, minor oddities began, objects moving inexplicably and faint noises. The house seemed to be alive, watching its new inhabitants. The first major incident. One evening, Patricia encountered a suffocating cold in the living room, despite it being summer. As she walked upstairs, she saw a shadowy, human-shaped figure in the hallway. It vanished when she blinked, but the encounter shook her deeply. Following this, strange occurrences intensified. The Garretts frequently heard muffled footsteps and saw shadowy figures, while objects shifted or broke spontaneously. Escalation of paranormal activity. The children complained of waking up to figures by their beds. William once heard knocking at the door late at night, but found only darkness when he checked. Inside, a chilling presence seemed to engulf him. Patricia, while alone in the kitchen, heard a whispered voice speak her name, and she encountered a tall, shadowy figure with a menacing, distorted grin. These disturbances became unrelenting. The family sought help from clergy and spiritual leaders, but every exorcism seemed only to provoke more intense activity. After one violent outburst from the entity, the Garretts fled the house under cover of night, abandoning most of their belongings. The continuing mystique. The house remained abandoned for years, its reputation as cursed growing. Local thrill seekers claimed paranormal encounters, reporting cold spots, whispers, and shadow figures. By the 1970s, the house was in disrepair, but the legend continued to attract curiosity. A new owner, the call of the unknown. In the 1970s, James Warner, a skeptical contractor, purchased the Bellaire House to renovate it. However, his disbelief in its haunted reputation quickly wavered. Subtle disturbances, soft whispers, cold drafts, and footsteps escalated to louder bangs and unexplained phenomena, such as furniture moving and a chilling presence in the attic. The first night of terror. One night, Warner heard heavy dragging sounds upstairs. Investigating, he found nothing but an oppressive silence and a sudden cold. While sitting in the living room, Warner glimpsed a shadowy figure in his peripheral vision. It disappeared as soon as he turned to face it, but the encounter terrified him. Escalating paranormal events. Unable to endure the hauntings, Warner contacted paranormal investigators. They captured evidence of myths, shadow figures, and disembodied voices on video and audio recordings. Electromagnetic fluctuations and drastic temperature drops further confirmed activity. During an EVP session, investigators asked, "Who is here with us?" The hostile response, "Leave now," chilled the group. Later, while in the basement, they heard a loud crash upstairs and found the living room overturned, with heavy furniture flung across the room. One investigator was physically pushed against a wall by an unseen force. The demonic presence. It became clear the house wasn't just haunted, it housed a malevolent entity. A final investigation revealed another terrifying shadow figure watching from the window as the team fled the house. Despite their evidence and stories, the true origin of the Bellaire House's demonic presence remained unexplained. A legacy of terror. Abandoned once again, the Bellaire House became a magnet for paranormal investigators, thrill seekers, and those curious about its dark reputation. Subsequent visitors experienced similar hauntings, further cementing its status as a legendary supernatural site. To this day, the Bellaire House stands as a chilling monument to the unknown, its demonic reputation deeply entrenched in paranormal lore. The investigation, uncovering the dark secrets of the Bellaire House. In 1977, after growing rumors of the Bellaire House's paranormal activity, a group of seasoned investigators led by Dr. George Montgomery set out to uncover the truth. Equipped with state-of-the-art tools, the team began by documenting the structure, noting strange temperature fluctuations throughout the house. The investigation started with minor disturbances, such as flickering lights and odd drafts. By midnight, the activity intensified, with footsteps heard in empty rooms and shadowy figures captured on video. The first night, unexplained phenomena. During their first EVP, electronic voice phenomenon session, the team captured faint whispers and at one point, a chilling phrase, "Leave now," followed by a guttural growl. The oppressive energy in the house caused physical symptoms among team members, including nausea and dizziness, cementing their belief that something malevolent resided there. The dark energy. Activity escalated as physical evidence emerged. Cameras recorded a chair in the attic rocking violently and a glass in the kitchen sliding across a counter before shattering. In the basement, investigator James Roberts felt an unseen force shove him to the ground. The team realized they were confronting something far darker than ordinary hauntings, a confrontation with the entity. By the third night, the team was on edge. The investigation culminated in the master bedroom, where they found furniture overturned and symbols smeared on the walls. Shadowy figures appeared and advanced on the group, unfazed by holy objects. Dr. Montgomery used a spirit board to ask what the entity wanted. The chilling response, "Your souls." Fleeing the house, the team concluded they faced a dangerous intelligent force, the psychic mediums and their revelations. Seeking answers, the team enlisted mediums Anna Sullivan and Gregory Moore. Both described suffocating dread and the presence of an ancient, malevolent entity feeding on fear. Sullivan envisioned a trapped child, while Moore felt physically ill due to the oppressive atmosphere. Both mediums confirmed the house was under the control of a dark force that resisted expulsion. More physical manifestations and aggression. Violent activity continued with objects thrown and investigators physically attacked. Mark Stevens, working alone in the attic, felt an icy grip around his throat and was left with claw marks. Doors slammed shut with alarming force, and shadows followed the team throughout the house. The entity grew more aggressive, seemingly gaining power from the investigators' fear and presence. The spiritual cleansing attempt. Desperate for relief, the team turned to Father Samuel Brown for an exorcism. His rituals involving prayers, holy water, and incense were met with violent resistance from the entity. Objects were dragged across floors, whispers emerged from walls, and the oppressive atmosphere worsened. Father Brown declared the house cursed and the demon too strong for a single cleansing. Theories and speculations. The Bellaire House is renowned for its violent, seemingly demonic occurrences, which remain unresolved. Theories about its haunting range from scientific explanations to fantastical speculation, fueling debate and curiosity in the paranormal community. Below are the most prominent theories surrounding the Bellaire House and the questions they raise. 1. The demonic possession theory. The most discussed theory suggests the presence of a demonic entity. Father Samuel Brown, a called-in exorcist, noted the intelligent and violent nature of the haunting and theorized the house acted as a spiritual amplifier for the demon. He believed its isolation made it ideal for a demon to grow in power by feeding on the fear and suffering of its inhabitants. Investigators observed that the activity at the Bellaire House didn't align with typical hauntings, where phenomena tend to be vague or subtle. Instead, violent attacks and the targeting of individuals led some to believe a demon was manipulating the physical world, causing harm far beyond what is usually associated with ghosts. 2. The land curse theory. Another prominent theory revolves around the idea of a land curse, which proposes the dark energy haunting the Bellaire House is rooted in the property itself. Historically, land cursed by tragic events is believed to hold residual negative energy. Speculation suggests occult rituals on the property prior to the house's construction may have unleashed a dark spiritual force. Others believe a curse was intentionally placed, perhaps through ritualistic sacrifice, binding restless spirits to the property. According to this theory, the negativity embedded in the land fuels ongoing paranormal phenomena. 3. The haunted history theory. Some propose the hauntings stem from the house's tragic history rather than a curse or demonic force. Research unearthed rumors of past violence, including an alleged crime that led to the death of a family within the house. The lingering energy from such tragedies could explain the intense activity reported by investigators. Others point to residual hauntings, suggesting that spirits linked to traumatic deaths remain trapped. According to this theory, the Bellaire House functions as a spiritual trap, amplifying pain and suffering through unexplained phenomena. The psychological projection theory. An alternative psychological theory suggests the haunting may be the result of collective psychosis, a shared reaction to the fear and tension surrounding the house. Proponents argue that investigators experiencing heightened stress could have projected hallucinations and physical sensations onto the environment. This mass hysteria theory contends the mind, in fear, can amplify benign occurrences into terrifying experiences. Rather than truly haunted, the house could serve as a psychological mirror of the subconscious fears of those within it. Conclusion: unanswered questions and unsolved mysteries. The Bellaire House remains one of the most haunting and perplexing cases in paranormal history, continuing to captivate the imagination of both investigators and the public alike. As we've explored, this infamous house nestled in the quiet town of Bellaire, Ohio, has been the site of eerie experiences, violent paranormal events, and mysterious happenings that have eluded any definitive explanation. Whether one subscribes to the theory of a demonic presence or believes the haunting is simply a product of human psychology, the case of the Bellaire House raises more questions than answers, leaving behind a trail of unsettling mysteries. At the heart of the story is the house itself, its violent and bloody past, including rumors of occult practices, tragic deaths, and strange occurrences, all of which seem to form the foundation of its notorious reputation. From its initial unsettling experiences to the more extreme hauntings reported by the Lutz family and others, the Bellaire House's dark legacy is intertwined with theories of demonic influence, spiritual warfare, and cursed land. Investigations into the house, some performed by paranormal professionals, have offered conflicting accounts of the supernatural phenomena. Despite the chilling evidence gathered through personal accounts, photographs, and EVP recordings, the house's true nature remains elusive. Was it a haven for evil spirits or simply a reflection of the minds of those who dwelt within it? The various investigations, from the involvement of religious figures to scientific attempts to measure paranormal activity, have only left us with more questions than definitive conclusions.